Okay, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Maureen, may we have a roll call vote for attendance, please?
Trustee Lizickis. Trustee Rosati.
Here.
Trustee Camphron.
Here.
Trustee Kimmel.
Here.
Trustee Porter.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Shear.
Here.
Mayor Mercurio. I'll go back to Trustee Lizickis.
Here.
6 present and absent.
Okay, may I have a motion for the approval of minutes of the village board meeting for June 21st, 2021?
So moved.
Moved by Marcia,
Second.
second by Tony. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion carried. May I have a motion for the approval of payment of abstract for 2021 or 2021 voucher numbers 61102 to 61140 for a total of $9,539.57.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen,
Second.
second by Steve. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Motion carried. May I have a motion for approval of payment of abstract for 2122 voucher numbers 61093 to 61143 for a total of $88,896.88. Moved by Paul, second,
Second.
second by Marcia. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Motion carried. We are going to skip over the recognition for past service. Michelle Schoeneman is not here. And we'll open the first speakers and communications. Anyone would like to address the board, please approach the microphone and speak clearly into the microphone. So we're open for anyone who has a comment or wishes to speak. Okay, well, there's a second speakers of communication toward the end of the meeting. If anyone would like to get up and address the board, you may do so then. Okay, so at this point, we're going to open a public hearing regarding special use permit for 53 South Grove Street, John and Karen Krempholz, one-bedroom accessory dwelling unit. I will open the meeting at 7:03. May I have a motion to open the meeting at 7:03, please?
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second by Paul. Okay, the public hearing is now open. Okay, is that right? What? Oh, vote, yes. All in favor of opening the public hearing?
Aye.
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 Aye. Against? Okay. The meeting is now open. Rookie mistake. Okay, are the property owners here? Would you like to address the board, please, and the public?
Yeah. Yeah, my name's Donald Krempholz and my wife Karen. We've been residents of the village for 32 years at South Grove, 53 South Grove. And we wish to turn our barn into a one-bedroom apartment, which me and my wife are going to take over. And then we're going to turn our main house over to our daughter and her family.
Nice.
And that's about it, really. My contractor's here. If you have any questions for him. And we're not changing the footprint on the property at all.
Okay.
That's it.
Does anybody on the board have any questions? Mr. Krempholz?
The driveway is shared with your neighbor, right? Have you talked to them about?
Yeah, it's a common driveway. It always has been. We both have ample parking. Never been an issue in all the years I've been there. My neighbor, it's a 4-unit that's rented out. My neighbor doesn't live there, but we get along real well. I mean, there are any problems. There's plenty of parking.
Lorraine, have we got any letters or any feedback? Okay, that's good. All right. Does anyone in the audience have a question? Like to? Okay, well, thank you very much.
It looks
Thank you.
nice what you've presented. So.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so at this point, I'd like to close the public hearing at 7:06 PM. May I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Paul,
Second.
second by Steve?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Public hearing is closed. Okay, we move to official considerations. A, consideration, may I have a motion for consideration to approve a special use permit for 53 South Grove Street, John and Karen Krempholz, requesting a one-bedroom accessory dwelling unit.
So moved.
Moved by Steve,
Second.
second by Paul. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, may I have a motion to consideration to appoint communication supervisor Aaron Denz, public safety dispatcher, effective June 28th, 2021, replacing Wayne Whippich. May I have a motion to move by Paul,
Second.
second by Marcia. Further discussion? Shane, do you want to key us in on this, please?
You're welcome.
Yes, dispatcher Whitebeck is out with what appears to be a fairly long-term illness, injury. I'm not sure which yet. And I just need a communication supervisor. So Wayne was talking about retiring in the near future anyways. So Aaron was going to be my choice down the road, but this seems to be the best time to do it. So I have that position filled.
Okay, thank you.
So Shane, you're looking at this as a temporary or looking at this?
No,
permanent?
this will be permanent.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay, any other questions from the board? Okay, all in favor of the appointment?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And he is appointed. Okay, we're skipping C. We're moving to D. May I have a motion to consideration to approve 4 new fighter fighters, John Stelly, Gianna Zuniga, Joseph Tierney, and Christopher Carden as members of the East Aurora Fire Department.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen,
Second.
second by Marcia. Further discussion? This is terrific that we have
Yeah.
4 more volunteer fire people joining our people, our department. That's fantastic.
It's amazing, especially because a lot of the neighboring fire departments are really having a hard time keeping their membership up. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, this is great. This is fantastic. Anybody have any other comments or,
Yeah, thanks to all 4 of you for stepping up. That's fantastic.
you know, excellent. I don't know if they're there. I don't think they're,
No, but I don't know, they might watch on YouTube.
there we go. Oh, technology. We can communicate with the outer world. We don't actually have to come to these things. All right, well, if no one has anything else they want to talk about or questions, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried, and we have 4 new fire people. E, consideration to approve budget adjustments for the 2020-2021 fiscal year. Maureen, do you want to talk about that first? Or do you want me to make a motion?
I can talk about it.
Okay.
The budget adjustments are usually the end of year closeout. So the year's over. I mean, we're just correcting anything that happened because of the way that the year fell, because of adjusting entries I had to do, things that might have been put in the wrong account or any kind of correction I had to make for the year.
Okay. All right, so may I have a motion?
Oh, and the big one is for the retirements. That's what the big one's for. If anybody has a question on that, the retirements.
Yeah, anybody have a question about that?
Yeah, I'd like to retire. No questions.
No questions? Okay. So may I have a motion? For the consideration to approve the budget adjustments for the 2021 fiscal year. Paul? Okay,
Second.
second by Marcia. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. F, consideration, may I have a motion for consideration of a request from the Little Loop organization to paint a mural on a village building in Hamlin Park in the parking lot adjacent to the football field.
So moved.
Moved by Marcia,
Um,
second by Paul. Okay, further discussion. We have questions. We have questions. The Little Loop people are here.
Okay, great.
They can, I think there's some changes in the plans or a different idea perhaps or something.
Hi, my name is Yanni
Yeah,
Seaver.
I'm sorry, we have to record it on the, that's why we have to make people.
I'm a teacher. I get it. I've been recording myself for the past year and a half. So,
There you go.
my name is Annie Seifert. I'm president of Aurora Little Loop. So I did send Kathy the image. So the way that we talked about with the board was I approached the high school and the middle school art teachers at Aurora and asked, and they sent me back and they told me that the high school art teacher sent a assignment out to his students, and then we voted on what came in as a board. So hopefully this image was sent to you. This was voted on. So I don't know if there was a different image that you received, but this was the only one that.
I thought there was something about a banner perhaps or something, or was that something else or a different group maybe?
No, I think that's an idea that we were thinking, some of us
Yeah,
on the
we were
board were
kicking around
thinking,
there.
so,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, so does the board have questions?
I think one of the thoughts was that size is very large, and to that extent, having it around all year long seems to be a little much, perhaps, particularly in the wintertime. And if there may be opportunities where we could have other people put up a similar kind of logo without doing a mural on the wall. We were thinking if it might make sense to do more of a banner type environment, you could hang that during your games and then, take it back and store it either in that building or someplace else. That allows you to continue taking advantage of the work that the contest did in the high school.
That's a really good idea.
And at the same time, gives you the opportunity to demonstrate your flair and
Right.
build team spirit and all that.
That's
kind of
actually a
thing.
really great idea.
It may actually prevent, I hate to be like this, but you always think about, potential damage that somebody, graffiti.
Graffiti.
Well, we know some damage that happens at the park.
Yeah,
every year.
Little Loop all too well knows damage that can be
Yeah,
done.
there are quite a few years.
you know.
So I love
So
that idea.
It may actually be something that might
Sure,
help preserve it for a longer period of time, and you avoid the fear of having.
absolutely.
a
Are you
hardwood
thinking
damage.
something with grommets where we could,
Yes.
attach it to the wall? That'd be great.
Right.
Love it.
So you could either keep it up for the season or
Yeah.
you could put it up for games, whatever you
Yeah,
feel is better for safekeeping.
I love that idea.
that
It
sort of
actually
thing.
might be a little less expensive than painting a mural too, because
Yeah.
and a little less time consuming because I talked to a bunch of, or I talked to.
You
the
could have a
teachers.
digital
Yeah,
and have
image
someone
drawing.
print it
Yeah,
out
it'd
for
be
you.
like- So that's a really good idea. I love that.
But I'd also like to thank the Little Loop for actually helping maintain this building, because part of the discussion when that came up was, well, geez, why just Little Loop? Why not everybody else who uses? But they really have been a steward of that particular building, and there was comments about how the paint doesn't match everything else. And I think that's because they took ownership of it and helped. And when however many games, 8 to 10 games and other communities come into our town and our toilets are not quite up to snuff and broken windows and things of that. And I gotta commend them for keeping it until our master plan and that goes into effect. And I think we should step up a little more on that building as well to help and assist these guys. So,
Yeah, we,
as much as, you did take ownership of it and it's painted blue and now we're looking at it, go, well, wait, blue and everything else is green. But there's a reason for that, because we're the only ones who really gave a darn because
We
you
use
used
I
it.
mean, between the months of pretty much the middle of July to the middle of November, like we live there, like we
Right.
are there nonstop. Especially it's become really a family and a community that of our football and cheerleading people. So, you know, we've redone the inside of the snack shack, we've repainted, we've scrubbed, we've power washed the floors, we've weeded the garden to the entrance where I've got a, hopefully I'll make sure I go through the right channels to, I have a connection at Murray Brothers to get some new plants donated and put into just kind of beautify a little bit. Sometimes we go to some other parks and we walk in and you're like, wow, you know, so we would love to have that same, and now with the new track, and it would just really be nice to show East Aurora for, you walk down Main Street, it's beautiful. And then you kind of get to the park. And so I know that's a process. So we're just hoping to jazz it up a little. So
Well, I do want to say that I'm not a fan of the blue. I'm not. I think it should be in keeping with the rest of the park, but you know, I'm probably in the minority on that. But anyway, I would like to see some of the weeding done around there. And I think,
we did it.
you know,
last year
Aurora
when it
needs
comes
to be responsible for that too. So
Well, I guess what we would like, and this might be off topic, but who do we talk to? Sometimes when we talk to the village says it's the town, and we talk to the town, it says the village. So there have been times when we're out of toilet paper or silly things, and we're like, we don't even know who to call. So maybe
I
a
will let
liaison or.
Maureen answer that one. Yeah, we need some
That's
clarification.
why I'm getting your
on
number,
that.
man.
Yes.
So, I mean, I guess that's, you know, when we had the broken window, we didn't know who to call. We actually had it fixed. We had someone donate their time and materials to fix it, you know, which, because it represents us and it
Right.
represents our town. I mean, I grew up here, Sean grew up here. We love it here. Our kids are going to school here. We love it here. So we just want to make it.
My son played Little Loop for 8 years. I was on the board. My husband was the president. So I've
So
got
you know.
a lot of connection to understanding
Yeah.
what all's involved. But
So,
yeah,
well,
so
thank you.
yeah.
So, all right.
If I may, real quick, Sean Kimmel, I'm on the board as well currently. Just in speaking to Matt, we talked about it, but there's been times where I've called Matt on a Monday and said, hey, I need the 5-yard line filled in. He's there in 20 minutes. So it's not that, it's more of a communication that we all know that, hey, this Saturday we have a game. So maybe we have to stock up on toilet paper, or make sure Shane gets his one guy out to unlock the bathroom. So it's just more of that, maybe direct communication would be helpful as well, as far as the board's concerned. Just to maybe be able to communicate what our plans are, you know, in terms of, you know, we have parking issues sometimes on Saturdays, you know. So just to be able to communicate that, to make sure that it's out there, knowing that, hey, this week we're playing here. So just so we have like a daily a weekly.
Even if it's on the schedule,
communication.
so that we're all. in
Yeah, that was all the implication was for that, was just.
So something I'm wondering about communication is, did you get permit from anyone to paint the building?
We got a green light to paint the building, and we thought we had gone through proper channels, although it was not permitted. No.
What was the green light?
Yeah, that's fine. You can paint the shed.
Who gave you the green light?
He's not here tonight.
Oh,
There was an open conversation about it, and it wasn't anything nefarious. The building wasn't green. The building was off-white.
Right.
The building we had cleaned up graffiti from the side of the building prior to painting it. So it was just kind of what happened in terms of chronological was we
definitely appreciate your.
But no, so we were talking to the village going into COVID. With COVID and the virtual meetings, everything kind of fell apart a little bit. We ended up having some it wasn't downtime, it was more, hey, we want to do this. Our season was off, we didn't even do anything. So it wasn't really that we were trying to circumvent. We just we had free time. Like I said, we cleaned up the shack, the kitchen area, cleaned the floors up. I might have done some sewer snaking there to clean some of the drains up. So it was just the timing of it all was more than we were trying to sneak one by. So
I think it looks a lot better, and I appreciate the efforts. Glad somebody's doing something, you know, Because,
Well,
I
the
mean, I
other thing
painted
is,
a house across the street last summer and, people were gone to work all day. So that was my bathroom. Across the, I'd walk across the parking lot and I'm like, boy, it's clean and it's nice, it's decent, not bad.
Well, and
Uh,
like, I do apologize if we didn't go through the right channels to get painted, but our vision was, we're always trying to connect Little League with the high school. We're trying to get our colors, now our colors are similar, we're trying to lead our athletes up to the high school. So we're trying to make a connection there and thought, hey, I mean, we're Blue Devils and they're Blue Devils, and let's try to have a connection and have some school spirit.
I think it looks fine.
Makes sense.
Good for, it's
So,
better than it was, for sure.
Right.
So do you want to
Maureen
consider?
wanted to
would you-
talk,
Yeah,
I think, about maybe scheduling things or
or
something.
communication or something.
Yeah, for communication and scheduling, we're in talks with the town to make an agreement for who takes care of the park. So just so you know, it isn't really it's a moving target because the agreement hasn't been made. So once the agreement's signed, there'll be a definitive, but you would talk to Matt regardless. We also now have a shared calendar. So when you guys put your permit in, all your dates go into the calendar and all the town has access to the calendar. The village has access to the calendar. Everybody, I think, but the police department, but I will make sure you guys get added on. If you're opening the bathroom, you will be on. So everybody knows who has the park and when.
So the permit is in. and
Yep, we just got the last piece of it today, so it'll be on the next agenda.
Okay, so would you consider, since it's still on, we haven't voted on this yet, on the mural, would you consider doing a
banner.
a banner?
Absolutely. I think
Instead?
that's a great idea. Yes.
So should we just
And
table it
return-
or,
returning it
okay, so
to the off-white color,
what, Paul?
returning the building to the off-white color.
No, I think
No,
we're gonna go
banner.
with, it looks okay for now, maybe down the road if people wanted a different color, but I think they did a good job with making it look decent, even though some people aren't fans of the blue, but, I don't think we need to waste people's time with repainting a building. I don't know how everybody else feels. I mean, about it.
At a quick glance, the building painting looks like it's in good shape. It's not
Yeah.
like there's any peeling there
No.
or splotchiness on the parts that are visible from the parking lot. Obviously, if you find more concerns about maintenance issues like broken windows, we'd appreciate the DPW knowing about it.
They were contacted. It was a few years ago, but then it's just, it's something that we see every single moment where it might not be someone
Sure.
else's concern, but every day when we're there for hours that we're like, and then when one guy on the board says, hey, I know a guy, we're like, sweet, get the guy over and fix it up. So, we're just trying to, we don't want to step on toes, but we also want to make it look nice.
I think it looks better than it did.
All right,
I mean, I looked at it for a week or two last summer and I thought it was fine.
all right.
It didn't bother me. So, to the board, shall we just table this then?
Could we just
Take it.
amend it from mural to
Sure,
banner?
To
Or
banner,
sort of
yeah.
Chris, what's
Allowing,
the-
Can we do
allowing
that,
to hang
Chris?
banner.
Can we amend?
you can end it simply, or you can table it either way.
Well, they want an answer because you want to get going on this, right?
Right,
So
well,
why don't we amend it? We'll switch it from consideration of a request from the Little League organization to paint a mural to a banner,
To hang a
Hang a banner, or-
Yeah.
Sure.
hang a banner
Seasonally.
seasonally on a village building in Hamlin Park in the parking lot adjacent to the football field. So Marcia, do you want to amend your
Is
motion?
that adequate, Chris? Okay. Yeah, I will amend it.
Okay, is that good, Chris?
And the.
And seconded was Paul. Paul,
Yeah.
are you willing to amend your motion to switch it to the banner?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, any other?
Hold on.
Oh,
To get a banner permit. She's looking it up real quick.
a banner permit. Oh,
Yeah, because if you put up a
yes,
banner in the
building
village, you
codes.
need a banner permit.
We can do a sign permit for that, as long as it's not permanently displayed.
Okay,
Seasonal. Yeah.
perfect. So you will have to stop at
Is that in this building?
Liz, yes.
Right now or tomorrow? Okay.
Is that just paperwork or is there a fee to that? Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, anybody else have anything they want to add? before we,
We're
vote?
good.
Okay, all in favor of the amended request for a banner, a seasonal banner? Okay, all in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried. Thank you for coming up here and
Thank you.
taking your evening to meet with us. Okay, we're down to letter G. May I have a motion, consideration to authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with NICEAG for conversion of non-LED public light fixtures to LED fixtures.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Moved by Kristen, second by Steve. Further discussion.
I guess I'm a little confused because I was under the impression we had already approved all
Done
that
that.
were there. Are there any left that have to be beyond this batch that have to be converted?
There are some lights out on Warren Drive. I am. There's some lights out on Warren Drive that are they're not the Cobra head that were changed out. They're the post top lamps. Warren Drive, Martin, or not Martin. Martin, Mary Ann, a couple of the other side streets, the Meadow, that have the post top lights.
So is this the last batch or do we have to like do another batch when NICEAG
The
is
rest of
ready or
them, the
something?
rest of them we own.
Okay. Any other questions?
So
Matt?
Matt, you're saying this is it? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Great idea. Obviously, we've talked about it before. It saves a lot of money. Sooner the better.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried. H, may I have a motion to schedule a public hearing on August 2nd for an application to keep 2 to 3 alpacas at 859 Oakwood Avenue, Amy and Michael Gates.
So moved.
Moved by Steve,
Second,
second by Marcia. Further discussion?
So I have a question. And then doesn't alpaca have hooves?
whoops.
I thought I knew amended like pop policy and said no hooves.
Well, this is just to move it, schedule a public hearing, so I don't know if we're, do we need discussion at all about this at this point? Because we're gonna have a public
That would be
hearing.
part of the public hearing.
That'd be part of the public
Yeah,
hearing, so we're not gonna, I'm just, we can just, what we'll do, Paul, is we'll just vote to have it become, move to a public hearing, and then at that point, we'll have the
Discussion.
people interested discuss it. I think they're here. I don't know if Chris, should we have them address?
It really would be more appropriate for. the
Public
Yeah.
hearing, okay. All right, sounds good. So let's, so we have a motion on the table for the schedule of public hearing on August 2nd for the application to keep 2 to 3 alpacas. So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, may I have a consider? Steve, and then Marcia. We good? Okay. Aye, consideration, may I have a motion to consideration to approve awarding a bid for the purchase of 2 new police cars to the sole low bidder, to Lacey Ford, Inc., in an amount of $73,578.
So is that sole low bidder also aligned with New York State contract stuff? I mean, is that all? No, I mean,
Tracked. We actually put out a bid for the police cars.
they were the only one who bid.
They're the only ones who bid. It was like a couple $100 more than it was last year.
Oh.
They pretty much service all the municipalities in this area.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay.
And it's
so-
not for trying. We do reach out to the other car dealerships and send
yeah.
them to them.
All right, any other questions? Okay, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen,
Second.
second by Steve. Any other questions, any further discussion, or I don't know if Chief wants to add anything? No?
No, only because new cars are so backed up right now. It's unusual, but DeLacy has one of the cars that match our specs in their lot now. So we'll be able to get one now, but the other one probably won't be until December or so. So,
Wow.
It's that chip
But-
shortage.
yeah, the
I
chip
drove by
shortage.
there the other day and their one lot was almost empty.
Yeah, every car
Crazy.
dealership's got very limited inventory right now for all vehicles. So,
Okay, nobody else has anything they want to ask? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. J, may I have a motion, consideration to award the auction amounts from Auctions International. This is for a Ford Fusion, sale awarded to ABC Auto in an amount of $3,650. A Ford Explorer, sale awarded to PPD 2000 in an amount of $8,700. And a Via Phones system, sale awarded to Candle NT in an amount of $330. So this is surplus where we have auctioned off. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Marcia,
Second.
second by Paul. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we have our second speakers and communications. If anybody wishes to address the board, you may do so at this point. Okay, no speakers and communications. Department head reports, safety committee. We'll start with that. Chief? Main and Hamlin?
yeah, certainly. After looking at that intersection, as you see in the write-up, that would be an awful long distance to have a crosswalk put in. On the south side of Main Street, the pedestrians would be leaving the sidewalk, entering in between parked cars. Then you also have the left turning lane in the middle of the road, turning onto Hamlin. That all those factors combined, the safety committee felt that would be a very dangerous crosswalk compared to all the other crosswalks on Main Street that are reduced to either one lane or two very narrow lanes with the bulb outs. It could be done, but it wouldn't be a very safe intersection there. And then with the village installing it, we'd be responsible for anything that happened in that intersection. So the safety committee on that part of our report wasn't in favor of that. The other two parts, the temporary parking allowed on North Willow, north of Pasquale's, Hamlin, sorry, on Hamlin, north of Mister's. We felt there is no safety concerns to allow because there's no parking on the opposite side. So that would add 6 to 8 more parking spots in that area. And the last thing was trustee Lasicas's concerns on Elm Street. Matt felt just putting a center line between the two lanes around that curve would show drivers indicate their lanes to make it a little safer going around that building.
Okay. Thanks, Chief.
No problem.
All right, Maureen, employee assistance program possibilities.
We talked to our insurance company about an employee assistance program. They gave us a quote on it, and I just kind of want a feeling from the board before we agree to it, because we probably have to gain an agreement with the unions saying that this is going to be a trial. We don't want to have to supply it if nobody's going to be using it. So I guess if you are in agreement that we would go forward with it, generally, we try to reach out to the unions to see if we could gain agreement to have a temporary trial of it to see if people use it. Because if nobody uses it, obviously, we wouldn't want to keep it. But we do feel like it's a good program.
Maureen, would family members of employees also have access? Because I know most employee assistance programs operate that way.
Yeah, it is for the family I mean, it's different things for different, I guess, people, depending on how that person's a family member to the employee. But there are, you know,
Like within
the
the same
counseling
household
and,
or?
yeah, different things like that. Yes, it would all be for the household.
Is there a reason why you want to do it as a trial? You know,
We don't want to pay for it if nobody's going to use it. If they're not going to use it, why would we have it? But I think they'll use it. I mean, I'm for it. I think they'll use it. I just think that I don't want to pay for it if they're not going to use it.
Because I think for a lot of people, they think they're not going to use it. But again, if it's available also to family members,
Mhm.
and if it includes, I mean, I know people think of like crisis counseling or mental health issues, but there's usually legal assistance and financial consultation. I mean, a lot of things, you know, that people might not think of, but you know, if one or two people could take advantage of it, it would be worth it. I'm a huge fan of.
Well, I agree with you. I'm a huge fan of it. I
Yeah.
think it's only $1,000, but it's still $1,000. So that if it was up to me, I would have wrote a check the day that they told me how much it was, but it's not. So, I mean, you guys can say no and you want to make the agreement and I'll sign for it and keep going. But I usually think with the unions, when you're giving them a benefit, you want to negotiate that.
Does this include the volunteer fire department?
This doesn't include the volunteer fire department the way it is. We can get them into it, or we could maybe do certain, like maybe interior firemen, we can do that too. There are variations, but they do pay for their own, more of a downed version for them. So they do have something for them as themselves currently.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions? No? All right, well, I guess, Maria, is that it for you? And everything else you want to share with us?
No, if you guys are good with it, we'll start that route. And if not, if you guys just want me to put it on the agenda, I'll put it on another agenda.
Okay. You want to do that, guys? Ever put it on a future agenda?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. All right, anything else, Maria?
We are collecting taxes. Anybody who hasn't paid, they're late, but get them into us. I'm working on the year-end audit. So that's coming up this month. Working on a Main Street grant, possibly to help the theater. And I know Pete isn't here to report on it, but the parade this weekend was really nice. And we did really have a lot of people who showed up to watch it, and departments, the police department, Matt and the DPW, and the fire department, you know, all played a big part in that. So it was really nice.
Chief Krieger, anything?
Our newest hire is police officer is starting next Monday. We're already in the process of looking for the next person to hire. And I think that's it. We're getting busy. Summer's in full swing already. We're trying to keep an eye on the bi-weekly mini music fest issues. And like Maureen said, the parade was well attended and the kids enjoyed it. I think they got the little boys especially got an appreciation of Matt's equipment being in it. So they like the big trucks and the payloader and everything else. So it worked out well.
Matt?
We've had some interviews this past week with some of the applicants that we found on the Indeed website. Unfortunately, we've had no one accept the position at this time. We have 2 more interviews coming up later this week. Hopefully we can get somebody to fill some of the positions that are vacant in the public works. We finished paving last week. We got a couple of adjustments to make for some drainage issues on North Street. That'll be, I spoke with the contractor today, and those will be corrected in the near future.
Okay, thank you.
Matt, I wanted to let you know that I spoke with 2 residents on North Street last evening, and they were thrilled with the paving job. So thank you.
Okay. Oh, Paul, anything?
I'm all set.
Okay, Marcia? Marcia?
I just wanted to let everybody know that last night I had an impromptu meeting with Todd Stein, the owner of the bank, and had a good look at the progress being made in the landscaping and the patio and all that he was doing to enhance the back. It looks fantastic. And he's done a beautiful job matching the existing old brick. It really is a first-class job. So I was really pleased because I know some of us had some, maybe reservations or concerns, and it's fantastic. So.
Yeah, I know him and I've done work for him and he does everything.
It's like very meticulous. Yeah.
Very meticulous.
Yeah.
I knew that would not be a problem. Anything else, Marcia?
So, no, that's it.
Kristen?
No, thanks.
Tony?
Just a point about dogs in parks. There has been, again, some correspondence about people being concerned. The current laws in both the town parks and the village parks, except for Knox Farm, you're not allowed to have dogs go through there. We're in the process of reaching out to the town to have them put some more signs up by Warren Park in particular. We did receive some correspondence about that. That's, again, technically a town park as opposed to a village park, but it's same kind of issue. So we want to make sure that people are aware of what laws are on the books. I have heard from residents who have mentioned that they are keeping after hours, after 5 o'clock, the police informed. So there is a little bit of work being done there. Obviously, anytime during the day, you can call the dog warden through the town highway department, and they'll come out and take care of things. They do a great job. They're just not normally scheduled in the evening. So to that extent, we have to be a little judicious about when we're using people, especially if it's just a leash kind of problem or a dog waste kind of problem, as opposed to like dogs fighting or that kind of thing, something being more dangerous. And that was the primary thing I wanted to bring up for today.
Okay, anything else?
I'm done.
Steve?
To further what Tony had said, now that he's on the dog subject, on our street this week, there was a dog attack, and it was pretty traumatic for the people involved. And coincidentally, a summer or two ago, it was the same household that a similar thing happened. And for people just to be considerate, keep your dog on a leash, keep them, if you know they're not friendly with other dogs, then keep them away from them and keep them contained. And along the same lines as what you said, it really is traumatic, and it could be a little kid or someone else that could get injured. So it was pretty traumatic on our street this week. So that's it.
Okay. Liz, I didn't mean to forget you.
That's okay. I just have a couple of things. I wanted to let everybody know that the Hamlin Farms Townhome project is nearing completion. 7 of the 8 units are either at a temporary or a final CO stage. There is a punch list on the front building. The back building is close as well. They're doing the final grading and finishing that up, sidewalks and the driveway and all of that. So that project will be wrapping up within the next couple of months. And I also wanted to let everybody know that the assistant code enforcement officer has taken a new job. And so as of now, I'm by myself. So if you need to get a hold of me, call the office, leave a message. Stopping in right now is not the best because I probably won't be there. But you can also reach me. If you don't have my cell phone, I'll give that to you. But bear with us as we go through the process. It is a civil service test. There were 4 residents who also took the test with Kevin when he took it in early June. So we have canvassed them, and we'll see what happens with interviews going forward.
Okay, anything else?
Nope, thank you.
Thank you, Liz. All right, well, I guess we're to that point. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:45?
So
Moved by Steve
Second.
and second by Marcia. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned.